awesome. Thank you, sir. Marcus Carlson with the business. James Creedon, who is also awesome, is with us. Charlie Hebdo, c'est reparti.
C'est reparti. We're back to business.
Yeah.
I've been talking about it since Monday, but we know the front cover, what the front cover is going to look like since Monday. But now, today, the first proper issue since the Paris attacks came out, and we were talking about it yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure if we see it yet, but in any case, what you see on the front cover is Marine Le Pen in the form of a bulldog, Nicolas Sarkozy as a poodle, you've got bishops, you've got Islamists, you've got the media, everybody chasing poor old Charlie Hebdo running off with the newspaper under his snatch there, or in his snap, whatever you'd say. In any case, this is one of the cartoons that you have inside the newspaper. We don't want any more trouble. A special issue, lolcats issue of the newspaper, and that's ironic, of course, Mark. People say, like, you know, is this the sort of innocence that we're going to have to go for now, if we're to avoid the issues that led to the Paris attacks? In any case, lots of serious discussion in the newspaper as well, because it is also quite it has some serious news analysis and of a left-wing variety. And here, criticism for austerity medicine in Europe, which is being prescribed in the way that bleeding was prescribed before by doctors.
Leeches they used to put on people, didn't they, once upon a time?
That's right.
In my youth.
Indeed, and that is an interview, in fact, with the Greek finance minister. So there you go. Now, other people, that's right. Now, other publications, many in fact, have been looking at the business angle of this, the fact that it's gone from a paper that had a circulation of 60,000 a week to 2.5 million for this edition. Whether it'll maintain that or not, we'll have to wait and see. A lot of that is solidarity that was expressed via subscriptions in the aftermath of the attacks. But indeed, it has led to a rift amongst the recomposed staff of the newspaper, and that is a quote from the Wall Street Journal that has been analysing that, how the leftist newspaper, how will they handle the transformation from a financially troubled niche journal to a global brand. And indeed, for 20 Minutes, the French edition of 20 minutes, they're calling perhaps the money that the paper has been in receipt of, it could be a poisoned chalice, in the sense that how can the paper resemble what it once was, which was anti-establishment, critical of the powers that be, etc. And indeed, this article in Arrêt sur Image, Charlie the Resurrection, points out that they have sought the advice of a big PR personality in Paris by the name of Anne Omel, who was formerly the PR communications advisor to Dominique Strauss-Kahn. So we're clearly operating now at another level, and you could say establishment figures such as that in the Paris media landscape are now being sought out.
Sales in the future will dictate how far that goes, but the ethos of the paper, it seems, won't change. It seems to be very anti-establishment, and that's its whole raison d'etre, isn't it?
And I'm sure they'll be very anxious to maintain that editorial line in the coming weeks and months.
Okay, next on the menu here on Media Watch, with James Creedon, of course. France, the EU country with the lowest use of social networks, according to a new study.
It's surprising, right?
Is it just you and me use social networks? And Marcus, of course.
And no one else, according to this study, right? It came 28th in a table of 28 countries in Europe, the EU countries mostly, and it has the least use of social networks such as Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And it also, I think 46% is the statistic of France's internet users who use social networks, where that compares to, at the top of the table, Denmark, at 69% of their internet users use social networks. Now, it could be a generational thing. I think there's also information about those who read their news online, Mark. France ranks 27th out of 28 on that as well. Now, I think part of this is explained by the fact that France gives big public money to newspapers, to the print press, to keep them afloat. So people have that option still, whereas perhaps in the Danish market, those options are less rich than they would be in a very, I suppose, well-financed...
Or maybe the French are just conservative.
Well, I think it's a mix of both.
It's a mix of both. Set in their ways, stuck in the mud.
A little bit of that too.
Dans la boue.
A little bit of that too.
As they might say.
But I think the strength of old media, I think France, radio listenership, for example, as well, is the highest, I think, one of the highest in the world per capita. People listen to their radios, and a huge range of radio choices as well in the French media landscape. So perhaps a little bit not so anxious to move on to new technologies, and also a lot of options in the old technology media landscape.
I was down to ask Marcus about the business angle there, but we are out of time, sadly. Marcus for the business, thank you. James for the Media Watch, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for being with us too. Stay with us, more to come here, live from Paris.
Tech 24, new technology.